Hello, everyone. I'll be sharing the presentation. And talking a bit about our 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 local content journey. Firstly, thank you to Port Reunion and to the team that's organized this interesting seminar. It's always a pleasure for Ascending to be able to participate in such events. I believe that local content is at the core of Ascending's culture. Actually, to give you a bit of background, the way Ascending is formulated is basically based on local content. 10 years ago, I arrived in Mozambique and I was working for a South African multinational company. And what happened was that with the crisis in 2016, this company decided that their assets in Mozambique, everything outside of South Africa was a non-core asset. So the opportunity came for a group of employees, myself, our CEO, and one more partner in Angola, to do a management buyout and buy the company and then create Ascending. And why did we do this? Exactly because we believed in local content and we wanted to have a company in Mozambique that was that really represented Mozambicans and that the decision making was done in Mozambique, and the same for Angola. Since then, it's now been more than 5 years. We have been growing and hopefully going from strength to strength. So what I want to bring to you today is a bit of our transition and how we were able to maintain the contracts we have and obviously grow our client base and grow the services that we deliver at the same time that we were transforming our team and empowering local staff. What we have seen over this period is that it is possible to increase competence and also increase the local content within one's company. Obviously, what this takes is a long-term commitment and an unwavering commitment to stick by that plan. So that's a bit of who we are. We have 3 training centers, one in Pemba, which we built in partnership with IFPELAC. So we manage it for 10 years, and then we will pass it on to government as part of our corporate social responsibility. Then we manage a training center in Mozal, which was the first mega project in Mozambique. We've done that for the last 10 years. And then we still own a small workshop in Palma, which we hope to reopen soon, should it be required. So what we have, as I was telling you, when we look at our company as a whole, I can give you an example. 5 years ago, we had an issue which was we had 14 trainers, and all of these trainers were foreign. So we looked at the issues and we said, well, we need to train people in Portuguese, and our trainers aren't able to train them in Portuguese. So we need to bring in interpreters and all of this. The problem is, for some of these trainings, as they are hands-on, a lot of the messages is getting lost. So we went on this voyage, which we continue, of certifying all of our identifying Mozambican trainers and certifying them all internationally. What this led us to was a big trip of obviously finding Mozambicans with the potential, putting them through accelerator schemes to get them to the required level, and then obviously have mentoring so that they can take over. This has led us to obviously find Mozambicans, which were working in Mozambique, but as you may imagine, also recruit lots of Mozambicans which were working internationally. Still today, we have work that we do well for the main operators, and when we look at specific trainings in LNG and in oil and gas, obviously there aren't Mozambicans that can fulfill those roles. So there, what we do is we have a pool of international trainers, but they provide mentoring and to the Mozambicans, so that hopefully within the next 4 to 5 years, we can start doing the same transition that we did successfully at Mozal. To conclude on this idea, for example, what we have seen is that 5 years ago, where we had 14 trainers, we now have all of these trainers being Mozambican, all with the same international certifications, something that 5 years ago no one believed that could happen. So that's it's a very proud fact, achievement that we have had, and it just shows that it is possible, and that the capacity of Mozambicans is actually there when we invest in it consistently. As you saw in the video, our main training center manager, a gentleman called Simbai, 10 years ago, he was an assistant electrical trainer in South Africa. We brought him to Mozambique, and through 10 years of upskilling him, he now leads our training center. So this is what we can do and how we can do it. Another thing that we have done is a training internationally. So providing solutions for Portuguese speaking countries to train in Mozambique. For example, we had a big client in Angola that faced an issue, which was they needed to train their staff, and they needed to develop their staff, but the training that they were receiving in English met an issue, which was the staff didn't fully understand what they were being trained on, and when they would get back to the plant floor, there was a breakage between what they had supposedly learned and then on the job. So what we did was we defined a training program which was tailor-made to each individual. So by doing an assessment of each individual, we saw each specific need, and we then did a progression map for each person. What we have seen after 2 years is that these people have been able to replace their supervisors, which were expats. So once again, what can be done with recognition of prior learning and a career path for each person shows that through training we can actually develop local content and get Mozambicans to a position which is of more relevance than if we don't have a plan in place. Added to that, what we saw was, as we were training a group of Angolans, we had space within the class to offer training to some disadvantaged youth. So we partnered with an orphanage that is close by to our training center in Boan, which is called Casa do Igaiato. This is a house that holds lots of youth. And what we did was we gave them the opportunity to come and train for free, and in a way compete with the Angolans and show that they could be, valid tradesmen. These people then went on to get work experience, and now in a way they are sending ambassadors, because these are kids that were earning informally, sometimes up to $20, $30 per month, and now obviously they are employed, and some of them are earning more than 20 times that. So when they go back to this orphanage and they show that a path can be created for themselves now, obviously the result of that success is that we want to do these type of programs more and more. I would say that when we look at Mozambique, and for companies to come in, there is always a big question regarding local content of what is local content and how do companies define their local content. There is an issue, which is that it is still unclear. At times, the only thing that seems to matter is that the ownership of a company in Mozambique is more than 51% Mozambican. But that still creates an issue, which is, for example, you have a company like Ascending, that's 95% of our staff is Mozambican. We obviously pay all of our taxes in Mozambique, and therefore we contribute to the economy in Mozambique. And this is a true local content company, if one can say so. And then you will have companies that employ and do everything from abroad, but because they will show a 51% ownership on paper, they are deemed as local content companies. So what I believe is that what is important isn't just how and why we are local content companies. I believe what is important is today we are in 2022. We have an opportunity, and how are we going to contribute positively to Mozambique, and how are we going to develop the people so that by 2024, 2025, 2026, someone who was maybe a semi-skilled or an unskilled worker can become semi-skilled or skilled. It's through that development that I believe comes our long-term commitment and understanding of this country. That is basically what I have to share with you. We have obviously trained and we support lots of international companies with their local content plans. So anything from local content development of their staff, be it via training, be it via employability, advisory on on the positions that can be filled or not by Mozambicans. We are here to support. We are here to help and assist anyone on their transition and on their journey working in Mozambique. So if you have any questions or anything that I may answer, please let me know. Thank you.